some parts of Gauteng and are starting to feel the pinch of water supply reduction. For more, let's now cross to our senior reporter, Chriselda Lewis, who's on the ground for us and has been really taking a look at what's going on with regards to the water situation. Chriselda, very good afternoon to you. Let's talk about the areas in Gauteng that are then affected by water supply currently. Indeed, we'd heard some people saying, look, we do have water where we are and others not having. We don't know what the situation really is and you don't know when your area will be hit. So perhaps you can give us an idea of what exactly is going on.
Well, Flo, a very good afternoon to you. Some areas indeed are starting to feel the pinch, of course, of this ongoing pipeline maintenance that is currently underway by Rand Water. Recall yesterday, this is when the water disruptions had started, and yesterday we didn't really see much of the disruption taking place, apart from the Johannesburg High Court indicating that cases that were scheduled to be heard yesterday and those that were to be heard today and tomorrow would be postponed until Thursday. We also saw that the first sitting of the council here in Johannesburg has also been postponed to a later stage due to these water disruptions. What we also know now is that here at the Rahima Musa Mother and Child Hospital, we know that the administrative area at some point was without any water, but the Gauteng Health Department has made some contingency plans. There are parts of the hospital, I understand, that did not have water. There's some donations that needed to be made, that have been made in fact, and some of the I think it's 25 litres have been brought to certain parts to service areas where there is not water in the hospital. It's not a crisis point at this stage, Flo, because those contingency measures have been put in place, and the Gauteng Health Department has certainly given assurance that the wards, which would be the most important, do have water. But Coronationville, from this area where we are, Rahima Musa Hospital is in Coronationville. Now, Coronationville itself is completely without any water. The taps have run dry in this particular area. This has been since very late yesterday. The community says they're extremely frustrated because they've not seen any water tanks come into this area to try and alleviate their situation. And I can certainly tell you in Johannesburg, it's been extremely a scorcher since this morning. We've been walking around, the sun has been absolutely blazing, and residents here are saying that they haven't gotten any assistance in terms of water being brought to this area to alleviate some of that stress. I'll bring in one of the residents now to chat to us a bit about this. Ma'am, a very good afternoon to you. Thanks indeed for your time. How long have you not had water now, and is there any assistance that is forthcoming?
Yesterday wasn't bad, as we say, but today there's no water. We are lucky we catch rainwater or so. That fills the toilets, but there's no water coming from our taps. And this is a problem. They said the water will trickle through, and we just don't have water for all these things.
Any water tankers that you've seen in this area?
There haven't been, not in this area. If the water tankers come in, it could be further up in Coronationville, but not in Oudtshoorn Street where I live. So,
have any of you logged a complaint with Johannesburg Water? Because they did indicate this was not a water outage, but a disruption. There was an expectation that the pressure would be extremely low. There would be water coming out of the tap, but it won't be completely dry. Have you logged this complaint? Is there any explanation that you've been given?
I haven't. I've been out most of the day. And this is the problem I've had. So I haven't logged it. And once you log something with City Council, nothing is seen to immediately. And this is just the experience I have with them. So, it's difficult to log complaints. That is why I haven't done it, most probably.
And how are you getting by in terms of water? Have you managed to buy?
Buckets. We have filled buckets over the weekend. So that is fine for the time being, but that's going to run out because you need it in other areas. But I hope that they do. Lots of people have been complaining this morning. My neighbor says they don't have water. And we just hope that they do bring a truck to stand over here. Cater for the people in the streets here, not far up the road where the elderly, Coronationville has got lots of elderly people. And for them to get transport to go and find water is difficult.
All right.
No, it is difficult.
Ma'am, thank you very much indeed for your time, for sharing your views with us as well. There were some other community members that had been around us here, them indicating that they're very concerned because obviously, Flo, the concern generally had been while Rand Water and, of course, Johannesburg Water had indicated that there are reserves in terms of water. They did say, that the concern, of course, would be how community members consume that water and whether that then would lead to a situation where there isn't any water. Sir, please come through. Let's just have the last word, Flo, here. Sir, what has your experience been? I understand that you've not had water since yesterday.
You see, since yesterday we don't have water. And the problem here in Coronationville, you've got old people living around here. We've got kids living around here. And for the old people to drink medication, it's the most important thing to have water. There's not even a tank around here to give us water. Nothing at all.
Just very quickly, have a look here. Some children are carrying here, carrying up people flow. That's water, dirty water that put in there. This is where a lady here who services in terms of the food for some of the patients who are here. So let me continue that conversation. You were saying there are elderly people here. You're a bit concerned about the fact that you have elderly people, they can't even take their medication.
They can't even take medication because there's no water. Where they're going to get water? We've got old age homes. We've got people living in informal settlements. They need water. Where are they going to get water? Because there's no water running here. Our taps are running dry. There's not even a dripple of water coming out of our taps. The main thing is they must send tanks to our area to get some water for the old people and people at the hospital. Because the hospital got a bowl, but the whole bowl is also getting dry. So we need some water tanks in our area. Please assist us with that.
All right, and that's exactly it, Flo, is that you would recall that the Rahima Musa Hospital, Mother and Child Hospital, this is where the Gift of the Givers, humanitarian organization Gift of the Givers, had donated a borehole. But once also that starts becoming problematic, as I indicated, the administration area here at the hospital did not have water. A donation was made for some of water to be brought here, and that's what the situation is. It's not a crisis level at this particular point. The health department has also indicated that it has put the necessary contingency plans in place. But obviously, if this prolongs, you're going to start seeing a bit of a crisis, because in this particular area is where the hospital is situated. Those contingency plans are there. But for the community itself, there's not a drop of water that is coming out of those taps. So if that maintenance continues and it does finish on time, as Rand Water had indicated, I guess that problem will be alleviated quite soon. If not, I guess this community is concerned about the fact that there are absolutely no water tankers that have also been brought here. So we'll continue to speak to more community members, and the viewers can certainly catch the full story of it on SABC News a little bit later on. Flo.
All right, thanks very much to you, Chriselda, for us outside Rahima Hospital there. She does mention the fact that it's not at this point a crisis level, and certainly we've heard from Rand Water that the maintenance is indeed on track and that they should be finished on time, but we'll certainly get more information on that as the story does develop. So hopefully indeed then the maintenance is then done on time and finished indeed in time.